shot down when my guns bust. I love the way they sound.
Hello, and welcome to my new YouTube channel, GeeHateaseTV. First off, I'd like to welcome all the artists that are family to me, that have been supporting the movement for the last 8 years. Secondly, to all those artists that are wanting interviews, that are stacked waiting for the opportunity to come on GeeHateaseTV, I will get to you. Over the last 8 years, I've done 300 plus interviews on a wide range of hip hop artists from East Coast, West Coast, the Dirty South, and that's exactly where we're going to now. This guy needs no introduction for me. This boy's family to me. It's the one and only the Brasco. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well.
Oh yeah, man, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your new show. Congratulations, by the way. And yeah, it's always a pleasure chopping it up with you, man.
Secondly, I'd like to ask, I mean, you've always kept yourself busy, and it feels to me like all of a sudden you've had a real jump and you've moved forward at a great pace. Now, I'm not going to give too much away. I mean, I don't know where you're at with your deal, whether the ink's actually dry on the contract, but it does involve the one Glasses Malone, also known as Glasses Low. So, can you give me a little insight and maybe tell the viewers that story about the limousine ride when you picked him up from the airport? Would be rather fitting when the deal was being made.
Yeah, music career boom. That's certainly an accurate description. I can't discuss the deal with Glasses Malone till the ink dries, but let's just say big things are definitely coming. And shout out to Lou, that's aka Mr. Green. That's my dude. He always comes through. He's the man behind the curtains, so shout out to Lou. As far as the limousine story, real quick, yeah, I picked up Glasses in a stretch limousine from the airport when I brought him to Memphis when we were doing the music video shoot. And we ended up going to Fleming's, and to say the least, we ran up a pretty hefty bill. It was about $1,300 of a bill. And when I handed the credit card to the server, it declined because I forgot I'd pulled out a bunch of cash earlier that day. So the look on his face was fucking priceless. But yeah, we just paid the tab cash and just let it ride. But yeah, funny ass story, man. You should have seen the look on that guy's face. He was like shitting fucking bricks. Oh my God. But once we paid him and everything, and I gave him a hefty tip and everything, and yeah, his tune changed real quick.
Now, your next release could really quite possibly be one of your most important releases, period. You know, you've come from different projects where you've had your graphic novels involved, the Baba Yaga, and you recently released the 6ix9ine diss track with one and only Billy Dollars, who will be appearing on this show not too distant future. Now, would it be fair to say then that your next release is critical to where you want to be in a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year? Tell us, who's on this track with you?
Yeah, the next release is very critical. The people are watching now, but I think where I'm at now in my career, I feel comfortable, you know? Like, I'm past the point of validation, so I can just relax and just have fun with it. And I think that makes for a better music and better music videos, just all around. So, yeah, I'm relaxed. We're having fun. Shout out to Billy Dollars. That's my dude. I tell you what, man, me and that dude, that's my brother, man. We get in the same studio, and I guarantee you hit records are coming out of that studio. It just seems like we just been hitting. I'm here to tell you, okay, not everything works as the way you want it to when it comes to music. You just, you know, it's like you hear it in your head, and you do your best to pull it out of your head, but it don't always go the way you want. But here lately, it just seems like we've been on a fucking roll, man. Me and Dollars, we get together and we just vibe off each other's energy. We have fun. We kick it up. We chop it up. And yeah, man, it's big things are popping, man. And the next release is very critical.
With that being said, I mean, you've worked with artists like Bone Crusher, you've worked with Deshaun Jetta, aka Hardhead, from New West and New West Association out there in California, and many, many others. You did a tour throughout the summer, through covering different genres, where rock music with rap, kind of like Ice-T and Body Count. Is that something that you see you pursuing alongside your well, what would be called really your normal genre of music? Do you have a vested interest in this? Because I've got to be honest with you, I've seen the video footage and you look like you was absolutely having a ball of a time this summer. Awesome tour bus, great people to be on tour with. Tell us what went down.
I don't know, man. I cross genres easily, I guess. Sometimes it's rock, sometimes it's hip hop. But yeah, I do have a new rock album I'm also working on called Two Streets Over with John LeCompte. He's the former guitarist from Evanescence, so I certainly trust his, judgment on as far as what music is. I will say this: fans of my hip hop music may be in for a surprise with this one. I can only imagine how Ice-T felt when he started Body Count. As for this past summer, yeah, I stayed quite busy filming music videos. Due to the pandemic, doing live shows was out, but I was able to get to go to Rockfest as a special guest with Hammer Down Hard, and that was a lot of fun. Shout out to Lonnie Hammer, Daniel Dwight, Mike Dover, and Daniel Sword. Great folks, man. I had a great time. Oh, shit. Let me tell you this story. All right, so Limp Bizkit was on the stage right next to us, right? And Mike Dover, he's the drummer with Hammer Down Hard. Dover started testing his drum kit while Limp Bizkit was on the stage, and eventually Limp Bizkit left the stage. They exited the stage 20 minutes early, and I swear to God, I'm convinced that Dover ran them motherfuckers off, man. He was over there. Dover's a motherfucking beast on the drums, so let me just say that right now.
Now, people will always, regardless, it doesn't matter where you're from, well, in particular with white American rappers, it's always going to be, oh, well, he sounds eclectically like, he sounds like Eminem, he sounds like, that should be old hat by now. Are you looking for this type of stereotyping? Is it kind of held you back at all? Or is it something that you relish?
I'll say this, they call Eminem shady for a reason, because he cast a big fucking shadow for the rest of us white rappers to crawl out of. And those of us that are able to do it, congrats to us. I mean, there are more and more white rappers that are rising to that challenge these days. As for being compared to M, if anyone is to compare me to any other artist, it better be one that's worthy of greatness. So Eminem isn't a bad comparison to be made to me, but through the years, working with the various different artists I've worked with has allowed me to evolve and grow, develop my own sound. So if someone compares me to M these days, it's no longer a diss. I mean, I gotta look at that as a compliment, really.
In terms of when we were speaking earlier, your next release with Busta Rhymes being on the track with you, do you see like the concept of the video? I mean, there will be a video, I take it, with this track.
Yeah, okay, so the deal with Busta Rhymes, and I want to make this clear so nobody's upset, because I'm a huge fan of Busta Rhymes, and yeah, so let me just make this clear. Busta is basically just blessing this record. He makes an appearance, but it's not a verse. Not on this track anyways, but I'm sure that's coming down the pipeline with everything that's going on right now behind the scenes at the label. But to answer your question, yeah, we are already in pre-production for that music video, actually, and I promise you this, man, this motherfucker will not disappoint. We took this one to the next level. That's all I'm gonna say. Just tune in and you'll fucking see what I mean.
Looking then to 2022, is it a touring year? Is it something that Glasses has got in the pipeline for you? Do you know any tour dates? And do you think you'll get over to the UK or even in Europe? I mean, the hip hop scene in Europe right now is massive, and it's more welcoming to the independent artist than it ever has been. So I do think it would be something maybe with the festival season throughout July, August, September. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I have no idea what to expect for 2022, to be perfectly honest. Glasses has major connections in the industry, and I'm sure he has a lot up his sleeve. I do know his schedule is about to be really fucking hectic with his iHeartRadio podcast and other deals that I can't discuss, but it involves a major video streaming service that rhymes with wet chicks. But yeah, if everything goes as expected with this deal with Glasses, it is fucking game over. Anything and everything is on the table. If the UK or Europe wants us, we'll be there. If Germany wants us, we'll be there. As for now, fuck, man, I'm studio bound, working on 3 albums of my own, plus Billy Dollars' next record. So we're gonna be pretty busy till that fucking ink dries, regardless. I do know Dollars is probably anxious to get back on the stage, so we'll see. I'm not saying no to anything.
If you're not coming to Europe and the UK, do you think you'll tour next year with Glasses, with other artists from your stable, with Billy Dollars, with a whole host of artists, really? I mean, you know, you're very well connected all the way from, like, say, from the East Coast to West Coast, Chicago, Detroit. You really have. You've got quite a good repertoire. You work with some great people. Do you think you'll be taking, like, special guests on tour with you if you manage to get out next year?
If we went on tour, naturally Billy Dollars is going to be there. I haven't thought about that question before now, but I have some artists in mind. Trying to get Busy Bone and other celebrity features to go would be a logistical nightmare, but I'd be down if the powers that be made it possible. I'll say this, though. Once the deal with Glasses is done and done, I go where he tells me to go. So with his connections, if I were to do a tour in 2022, I'm sure it would be with artists in his network, under his direction. If I hear anything, though, you'll be the first to know. But for now, we're all just sitting tight and waiting for what comes next. So now we play the waiting game, create content while we wait, I guess, and just keep it moving.
If you could pick one destination where you would like to tour, be it in the UK, be it in the US, what city would it be and why?
Oh, that's easy. I'd have to say L.A. Any entertainer in America needs to perform in L.A., and I haven't done that yet. I've made so many connections in Cali, and I've worked with a lot of great artists from the West Coast, but I've never played in L.A. But I have a feeling that's about to change. Second choice would be London, home of Jagger.
Obviously, you know, you got to look at the fact that you're from Memphis. It's a city steeped in music history. Do you think it would be viable to have and go for it this summer and do quite a few dates actually in Memphis and get your local following behind you once again?
Memphis is my playground. Anytime I want to play in the city, Memphis has always been there for me. But I have a theory, and I stick to it to this day. Make a name for yourself outside of your home city. If you want your home city to appreciate you, show them the outside world appreciates you first. Then they'll be quick to claim you as one of their own. Then you can give them all the big homecoming you want. But I promise you this, I've lived in Memphis for 15 years, and everybody's a rapper in Memphis, okay? I am nothing special. Fuck, 3 6 Mafia, Lil White. I mean, Jesus Christ, we could literally sit here and just name off rappers if we wanted to. But yeah, that's my theory. Reach out to the greater world, get their attention, then circle back home, you know, and bring the wealth, bring the good name of Memphis back to Memphis when you come back, and they'll embrace you with open arms.
Studio time. When you're going back into the studio, and if you can give us a little inkling about what you're actually looking to do. I mean, is there a story behind it? Because your previous projects they've really come cross genre from even the graphic novels like I mentioned earlier. Is there something that you're planning of a similar nature?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm always in the studio. I'm always writing, always recording, editing, filming. Like I said, I'm working on 3 albums right now. A double album, Bulletproof Diaries, that's Magniloquent and Bulletproof Tired. I'm also working on 2 Streets Over. Plus, we're working on Billy Dollars' new album. I mean, I'm always in the studio. Always. The graphic novels and animations were consuming so much time. They were putting everything behind schedule, so I kind of put all that on the back burner for now, but it's still simmering. But considering I do everything myself, filming, editing, recording, mixing, everything, I simply don't have time to include drawing and animating to the table for now. But as far as projects coming out, man, we're dibble-dabbling in a little bit of this. We're dibble-dabbling in a little bit of that. I mean, just stay tuned, man. You're gonna see some crazy shit from Dirty South Records.
The Charlie Brasco dolls. Where did the Charlie Brasco dolls come from? Whose idea was it? and why?
Yeah, those are called Funko Pops. Those things are huge in America. Collectors are paying top dollar for the rare ones. So far, there are only 5 Brasco Funko Pops in existence, but we intend to include them in 5 VIP packages, which will include autographed vinyl copies of the double album currently in the works, an autographed copy of the last album, Baba Yaga, 2 t-shirts, and maybe a keychain or stickers or something. But yeah, we'll autograph the Funko Pop, the Brasco Funko Pops in and out. You know, it's one of those things that we're testing right now. You know, it's merchandise. You never know what's gonna spin, what's not. So we're testing the waters. We'll see if anybody wants them. You know.
Are you looking yourself with the pyramid setup of music contracts and music labels where you're signed with Glasses, and then you've got yourself, and then Billy Dollars, and you go out and find any local artists, and you sign them to yours, and it kind of trickles downhill, and you all make money? Is that something that's going to be happening over the next 6, 12, 18 months?
Yeah, theoretically, yes. Again, I can't discuss the details of the deal at this moment, but how those deals work in a nutshell is similar to a 360 deal. There's very much a pyramid networking hierarchy, if you will. The same way Interscope makes money from Aftermath, and Aftermath and Interscope make money off Shady Records. It's one of those rising tides raises all ships sort of situations. So basically, if I had to say what we're doing right now, it would be we're going to continue creating the content, the music, and the music videos, and pass it on to Glasses, and see what happens.
Is there anybody that you've noticed locally say locally, Memphis is huge, but is there any artist in Memphis that you've actually got your eye on? I know you can't say too much, or if you could just say, yeah, go and listen to this kid's music, it's absolutely brilliant. Who would it be?
Yeah, man, there's plenty of talent in Memphis and the surrounding areas. Right off the top of my head, hip-hop artist from Memphis, I gotta say Vincent Perkins. He's professionally known as Rebellious. He's with the group called The Seat of Six. That's DJ Paul's nephew from 3-6 Mafia. He made a cameo in my Outbreak video. In the rock genre, hammer down hard. Absolutely, hands down. You'll see a couple music videos that I just did for them, Cephalopod and World's Gone Black, which I'm very, very fucking proud of. Daniel Dwight's also someone to keep an eye on. He's also in Hammer Down Hard, but you'll see him make appearances on some of my tracks every now and then. He was actually in Eat You Alive, the song that kickstarted basically everything. And I know he's not from Memphis, but for an underground artist that I think people should seriously keep an eye on, besides, you know, Billy Dollars and myself, I gotta say Bishop, the Don. He's doing big things out in California. I expect big things from him. Oh, and look up Bruce Nelson from Oxford, Mississippi. Bruce is on the scene doing his thing. He's making pretty good moves. And listen, if I forgot to mention any of you local artists, don't get mad at me, okay? I'm high as fuck right now, okay? I'm doing the best I can, so DM me or some shit, I don't know.
Looking back at your previous work, you've worked with Bone Crusher, with Hardhead, you've worked with Bone Thugs and Harmony. Do you think that this is a necessary step nowadays to have artists work in collaboration in order to help each other? But at the end of the day, we're all quite self-serving, and therefore that has to help you to move forward. Would you agree?
Yeah, man, absolutely. Look, let me tell you something about hip-hop. Nobody gets in without permission. Everybody pays their dues. If you want to be taken seriously as a professional artist, you need to be blessed or co-signed by professional artists who vouch for your work. As an artist, I think it's important to be recognized by your professional peers. I also think it's a sign of growth for an artist to gain that recognition. It's a sign that they're moving on, and they're you know, slowly but surely stepping into that role of what a professional artist is. To me personally, every time I get the chance to work with artists that are held in such high regard by so many people, it's a learning experience. Every time. I learn a lot each time, but I make sure to hold my own amongst them, you know. If not, then someone else was more deserving of that time with that artist. So I make the most out of every collaboration experience I'm blessed with.
You've managed to keep your professional and personal life very, very separate. Has that been a conscious thing that you've had to do throughout the years? So when the Brasco gets home and closes that door at night, although I do know you have a studio inside your home, which is just, you know, where you get down in your lab and do your craft. But are you able to close the door, shut off family time, you time, and get away from music? Or, as I'm probably going to, you know, suggest and guess, that you're a little bit of a workaholic. I mean, you never seem to be resting on your laurels. You're always pushing for the next project. So what do you do to relax then?
Yeah, I own 3 businesses, including a legal firm and a record label, so I have to keep everything compartmentalized and organized. You have to, or else you would go insane. So I stick to a strict schedule and routine. I block out times and dates for everything, and I stick to it. Believe it or not, making music is what I do for relaxation. I roll a blunt, fire up the beat, relax, and then just rhymes start coming to me. But as far as relaxation, things that I just kind of a part of who I am, that's not work related. I'm a movie buff. I love movies, video games on occasion. I also collect omnibus, so I read a lot, and I'm also really big into DC and Marvel. So, you know, whenever I'm not behind one computer or the other computer or a camera or whatever, yeah, I just kind of, sometimes I just go down YouTube holes, man, rabbit holes, and just, it'll start off with one thing and end up on cute animal videos or some shit. Every time, never fails.
Have you managed this year to have any vacation time with the COVID issue? Have you got out and about? Have you managed to? Have you just been, you know, in Memphis at home in the studio writing, recording, and that process is just repetitive? Surely you need some downtime. Where would that be?
Man, believe it or not, I've never been on an actual vacation, as sad as that sounds. I don't know what else to say, honestly. I'll say this. What I do is so much fun. I mentally don't need a vacation like most people do. I mean, I understand the concept of a vacation, and there's a lot of places that I want to go and things I want to do, but I'm just I'm just not there yet. I've got too much more work I got to do, and then, you know, once that's over with, you know, I'm pretty sure I'll probably, you know, make up for all the lost vacation time that I've never gotten to actually see.
During the time what we've been experiencing with this global pandemic, has it worked to your advantage or disadvantage? I know some artists that have found it incredibly hard to be at home, to just be having to write and trying to find inspiration. Or have you had, like, you know, have you been able to draw upon, like, you know, you've had quite a long career to date. Have you been able to draw on those experiences and turn this negative into a positive?
Actually, the pandemic was the lemons I made lemonade from. We literally opened the legal firm a few months before the pandemic shut everything down, so it really worked in our favor. We didn't get laid off. We didn't lose work. We were able to work from home just fine, get the business up and running, made a ton of money in the process. So where most startup businesses working from home are frowned down upon, we got a free pass since everyone was working from home. Soon we moved into an office building and spread our wings. So if you ask me, I love the pandemic. I'm very much comfortable with the confines of my studio. I don't really need a reason to stay in the studio. But if we have the pandemic, fuck it, I'll take it. But yeah, it was absolutely advantageous for me. It sucks for other people, but no, I'm somewhat of a hermit crab as it is. So I just I'm always in the studio. What pandemic?
Well, I've got to say, we are running out of time, and I just want to say I absolutely love listening to your music. I love your video projects. You're more than welcome to have a regular slot on the show. And yeah, I want to give it up for the Brasco. Is there anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we turn this mic off and turn these cameras off?
Yeah, sure, man. I gotta give love to my woman Kendra, of course. Billy Dollars, Damian Baker, Lou Johnson, aka Mr. Green. Go check him out. Glasses Malone, of course. Grady Earls for all the wonderful work he does. Again, my film partner, Bobby Davis, couldn't do much of hardly what we do without him. Let's see, there's John LeCompte, Daniel Dwight, Lonnie Hammer, Jason Gillespie, Jeremy Fitzgibbon, Bishop the Don, and of course Busta Rhymes for blessing this project. Man, that really, man, just really made my day, to be honest with you. Oh, and thanks to you, G, for having me on your show. It's always a pleasure chopping it up. And if I forgot to give a shout out to any of y'all, forgive me again, as I am high as fuck. Later.
Get run up, get shot down.